Bitcoin Exchange Reserve has been on a downtrend, a micro downtrend since November the 18th. And what this essentially means, it means people are moving their money off the exchanges. So this is a very, very bullish sign for crypto and Bitcoin right now, which is looking pretty good. We are seeing a minor pullback today on the 24th of November, but so far over the past few days or so, it's been very, very bullish for crypto. Now, let's have a look at the funding rates right now as well, guys. Funding rates are actually positive for holding long positions as well. So you're going to be paid to hold your short positions at this point in time every 8 hours. So that's obviously, again, bullish for crypto. And also open interest, guys. Let's zoom right into that. We are seeing a lovely, lovely uptrend of people opening new positions for crypto in general. Okay, this has been on uptrend for quite a while now, since September, right? So this is looking very, very bullish for crypto again. Moving on to the CZ US case and how this is unfolding right now. Binance have basically said the US have basically said that it's a serious risk if CZ actually decides to leave the US right now. The reasoning for this is, guys, is because basically they're saying that it's a problem under the terms that he has signed. Okay, he's put $15 million in a trust account, and he also has a signed bond of $175 million. Now, the problem is, guys, is the US is scared if CZ does not return to the US, they won't be able to secure the $175 million because most of his assets and they're outside the country, right? They're outside the country. And also, there's no extradition from the UAE to the US. And obviously, well, CZ obviously wants to go to the UAE, probably due to tax reasons, right? So very, very interesting stuff to see how that is going to unfold. If this is not decided by the 27th of November by a DOJ filing by 5 p.m., then CZ will actually be free to return to the UAE, I presume Dubai, but he must come back by February the 10th. If he doesn't come back, again, there's no extradition. There's no extradition for him to come back to the US. They can't get him, okay? So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how that does fold out. They can get him, but they can't force him to go back to the US. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how that does plan out. But, yeah, let's move on to Bitcoin right now, guys, because this is where it gets interesting. We're going to be covering some very, very key points for the short term, the mid-term, and the long term here for Bitcoin. So, make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to be going through every halvening that we have seen since 2012, I'm pretty sure it is, since 2012, and basically what percentages we're going to be covering and can potentially expect for this, the next halvening, which is in like 145 days or it's estimated 148 days or something along the lines of that. So we're going to be going through that. So make sure you watch the video all the way to the end, guys. You don't want to miss that value. Touching on BNB very quickly, guys, because we talked about BNB and obviously the CZ case and Binance dumping and seeing a nice pullback from this rising wedge. We did see a lovely 2% move there. So well done to everyone who got into that in the CC gang community. Link is in the description, guys. Join that on Telegram. We're a very, very tightly knitted community, and we share trades and we share really, really good opinions. It's a great group to be in. So if you want to join a nice community, that's where you do that. Moving on to Bitcoin here on the short-term time frame here, guys. What are we looking at? Okay, what are we looking at right now? Let's talk about support. Let's talk about resistance, okay? Because this area here is clearly a level of support. This area here is also clearly a level of support. You've got these two on the lower side. This is actually forming a trend line, guys, an upward sloping support line, looking something along the lines of this. And then also on the top side, you've got resistance coming through from here. You've got resistance coming through from here. Resistance, resistance, currently testing resistance. Now, this is forming, guys, it's forming a symmetrical triangle chart pattern. A symmetrical triangle chart pattern, they tend to usually break to the upside, okay? They tend to usually break to the upside. So let's see what and where we could be looking for a target for this short position. For this long position, because it is a symmetrical triangle chart pattern. It's a bullish pennant chart pattern because it's at the top of an uptrend. So this basically means we're going to be breaking up. Now, it is quite a tricky one because if you look at this area right here, we do actually have a horrible, filthy trap zone. This is where we've come up before, found resistance, and basically got slammed down, okay, in these areas. So we basically don't want to be placing a trade until we clear this 37,600. 37,600. That's when we get above that level of resistance, okay? And I want to see support forming there, guys. I want to see support forming in this area above this zone. If we can get that, then I will be going long on Bitcoin to the goddamn moon. Not to the moon, but it's going to be a very nice, clean position. And that does bring me on to the midterm time frame because this is where it kind of lines up a bit nicer, guys. And it's more visually appealing for you guys to divulge and get involved with, and we can talk about potential take profits for this trade as well. So as you can see, again, symmetrical triangle chart pattern, top of an uptrend, bullish pennant chart pattern, continuation pattern for us to be looking out for. This is going to be the measure move, guys. The measure move is going to look something along the lines of this. We're going to basically just draw it from the bottom side to the top side of this chart pattern. And wherever we decide to break along this trend line here, this is where we're going to be entering our position, okay? So as you can see there, guys, I've got a nice little profit and loss box put in there at the moment. Not really sure what type of trade I'm going to be going for right now. If it, depending on what the stop loss is going to be, whether it's going to be a 1-to-1, whether it's going to be a 1-to-2, we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how the markets are and see what the price is doing. Because if we come up and we actually form a very, very lovely level of support from here, and it doesn't look like we're going to break any of this area, and moving averages are in our favor, because I think we're above all major moving averages right now. You can see we're above 55, we're above 21, we're above the 7 SMA as well. So it is looking bullish. The more that we come up here, guys, if we form support at around 37,800, 38k, if we can bounce around there for a little while, moving averages coming up, I'll probably just have my stop loss around 37,200, that sort of area, and then be going for a nice big juicy profit of around 39,000 there. Obviously, you guys know how I trade. It's not going to be my only take profit that I'm going to be using here. I'm going to be staggering my take profits as I'm going, because that's the safest way to trade these markets, okay? Now, in terms of take profits, guys, let's talk about take profits. Let's talk about entry points. Okay, so we've got a clear horizontal coming through at around 37,800. Yeah, so we want to be forming support on this area, and that's just over here, guys. So we want to be forming a nice level of support from here, but also we need to be aware, volume-weighted ATR bands, guys. These are very, very important for support and resistance. As you can see here, very, very big levels. Okay, very, very big levels. I think I'm in the way there. Yeah, very, very big levels for us to be looking out for there for support and resistance. So we need to actually not overlook them for this trade, okay? So if we are going to be looking for them, we're going to be using them as essentially take profit areas for us to be using as we're going up there. As well as that, guys, we're going to be using the highs that we're looking for right now. And currently the high that we are seeing for Bitcoin is 38,138. On this chart, I know different charts and exchanges are a bit different. Sometimes it does vary, but that's sort of what we're looking at for right now. So we're definitely going to be using that as a level of resistance. In terms of another point there, I mean, if you're looking at it, guys, we're getting quite tight, okay? We're getting quite tight in terms of these areas. So it does kind of put me in a position here where I don't really want to be entering a trade right here, okay? I don't really want to be entering a trade unless my first take profit is going to be like up here, right? And it's a 0.27 move, which is probably not going to be worth it if you are calculating it with fees as well. So it's probably not that great. So ideally, the move that we're sort of looking for here is probably volume weighted ATR band to come down, support to be formed around these horizontals above 38,100, and then this is sort of the area that we're probably going to be entering this position, okay? So let's get a little box in there. This is probably going to be the area that we're going to be looking for an entry, okay? And from that entry point, we're going to be riding that wave all the way to the top. Okay, we've got our first take profit. I know I said it's a bit choppy having it that small, but when it's a high for Bitcoin, I don't know where that has come from. Oh, that's the volume weighted ATR band, yeah. So yeah, so actually, we don't actually know if that's going to be a first take profit. That's why it confused me. Yes, we don't actually know whether that's going to be a first take profit, guys. So it's definitely something to be looking out for there if this volume weighted ATR band does come down and we do form support on top of it, okay? So we are going to be looking for a position, and it is going to be something along the lines of this. We're going to be moving our price range all the way up to the top of that measure move there, and it is worth around 4.51%. Are we going to be staggering our take profits as we go? Yes, we are. Obviously, we've got one there at 38,800, looking pretty good as well. And then we're just gonna go back in history, okay, guys? We're gonna go back in history and see when we were last at these prices, and then we basically just use previous data, okay? It's very, very simple. We use previous data to determine where potential stop losses, where potential take profits and support and resistance levels could be. So you can see here, very, very nice clean levels of support. Very, very nice. Again, resistance being tested as well. So we know that's going to be an area. We know we could potentially get rejected there. So if we are long, okay, so that's definitely going to be a take profit. So let's move back to the live price and let's see where we are. And you can see we've got a very nice level of take profits being formed now, guys, okay? So we've got our first take profit probably going to be wherever the volume weighted ATR band is at the 4 hour. At the moment, it's currently at 38,793. So that'll be our first take profit. quite ambitious, but if we are going one-to-one, guys, depending on this price range here, if we are going to go one-to-one and support is looking good, it would be we would actually have quite a lot of room. Okay, we would actually, that's wrong. Yeah, we would have quite a lot of room if we do it like this to in terms of support below us. Okay, so if we are forming support here, we've obviously got a lot of areas to bounce here. We can ride along this trend line as well before we go to the moon. So there's a lot of space for us to actually hit our first take profit, which basically means it's a very safe position to be getting involved with. Obviously, guys, NFA, do your own research here, but this is going to be the trade that I'm looking for right now, just breaking it down in depth. And also, guys, I do look at a lot of other indicators as well, so just make sure you're doing your own research here, okay? Now, as you can see, on the RSI, for example, we do have a very, very nice, strong resistance line coming down as well. That is lining up at around 67.9. So if we're looking at that in terms of resistance for us to hit, if we see a bit of a move up for Bitcoin, we're going to correlate with the chart with major levels of support as well. What does this tell us? This tells us essentially that there's a rejection point before we hit our potential entry point, right? So this is going to be an area for a potential ridiculously high leverage short position. I'm joking. Absolutely not. It's just an area we need to be looking out for there. And we're likely to see a bit of a pullback for Bitcoin. That's basically what it's telling us. Now, if we do see the price actually just go sideways for a bit, what is going to happen, guys? The RSI will come back down to the central point, and we will just consolidate in this area for a while if we do see sideways momentum for Bitcoin. Low volume, sideways momentum. If this does happen, this trend line is not stopping, guys. It's going to gradually get lower. It's going to gradually come down to haunt us, so we need to be aware for this resistance point to come through. The likelihood of us actually breaking and holding in this area, it's not that great, guys. It's not that great for our long position. And the reasoning for this is because we're going to be overbought for Bitcoin, okay? Usually, sometimes, most of the time, when we're overbought for Bitcoin, we see the price dump down. So if we get to this area, even though we clear this level of resistance and we find support here, we're still going to be overbought. So that technically means that we'll probably just dump back down. Okay, so it's definitely something to really be looking out for there, guys. And this is definitely going to affect our position. So ideally, what we want here for this long position, for this indicator, is to basically come up, probably test it, come down, see a bit of a dump for Bitcoin. A nice violent dump for Bitcoin would be great for our position, and then consolidation, and then this guy can come down like so, and then we can break it a bit later on. And if we break it a bit later on in correlation with the chart, guys, it's going to be looking a lot more healthy for us. Okay, we could be looking at maybe an entry point of here, and we could actually see a nice smooth take profit if we are going to get in around this area, nice 1%. So there's a few things we need to weigh up here, guys, but that's definitely something we can't overlook here on the RSI. Moving on to the longer term time frame here for Bitcoin, guys, I do want to go into the Bitcoin halvening a bit, and shout out to Hey You in the CC gang in the Telegram. He basically said I should do a video on Bitcoin halving and basically explain to you guys what it is, what it's about. I'm not going to be doing that today, but I will be creating a video in the future, in the next week or so. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you definitely can watch that, because it's very important you guys understand what's about to happen in the next 150 days on average or so, right? Depends on the Bitcoin blockchain. So I will be doing that video. But for now, I just want to talk to you guys about the price of Bitcoin and what we can potentially expect in terms of percentage gains for the halvening, okay? You know, I'm very, very hot on this at the moment. You can see where we are on the chart, guys. Blue, this line right here is essentially where the halvening will be, okay? This is where the halvening will be, and you can see every single time that we've had this happen, we've seen a very, very big move for Bitcoin to the upside. Very big bull market, okay? So we're literally probably 150 days away from this, because it essentially causes like a supply shock for Bitcoin, essentially. So, yeah, I will go into more detail in another video. But yeah, as you can see, this is the area that we're looking for here. In terms of percentages, what I've done, I've gone back every 4 years on the chart, guys, as far as I can go on this Bitstamp chart here, and worked out the percentages of how much we've gained from each bear market low compared to the all-time high after the halvening, okay? So let's look at that. Let's break it down. So back in 2012 was the halvening, okay? And from the bear market low from the year prior to that, you can see we gained 52,000%. The next year was 2016, I think. Yeah, 2016, we did see the halvening in May. I'm pretty sure May or July. And that gained us around 12,800%. The most recent one that we all know about was back in was back in 2020, I think May 2020, June 2020, April 2020, that sort of area. And we did obviously see Bitcoin explode from there, right? We saw like 700, 800%, but from the bear market low, it is around 2,000% gain. Now, if we're looking at the bear market low currently, guys, currently sat at around 15,000. If we're going to be taking this and getting some sort of estimate, we can potentially see where we're going to go. Potentially, okay? So let's look at this for now. So if we're looking at percentages, 52,000%, 12,000%, 2,000%. So you can see we are on a decline, okay? We're on a decline, and this is because it costs a lot more to pump the chart. So in terms of market cap, when we saw us at $69,000 for Bitcoin last time, you could see that the market cap for cryptocurrency in general was like, I think it was over like $1 trillion or something stupid like that. So for us to really clear these levels, we need a lot more money actually injected into the industry itself, okay? So this is why these percentages are gradually getting lower, because it takes more money to actually get to these prices. So let's look at potentially 1,000% gain from the bear market low. 1,000% gain, guys, will put Bitcoin up at around $175,000, okay? Ridiculous. It will be like a 10x from the bear market low of 15,000, right? Absolutely insane for Bitcoin there. Yeah, definitely something to be looking out for there. And even if we do get, say, 800%, 700%, we're still looking at 150,000. We're still looking at 700%, 126,000. So it's still ridiculous gains to be made here for this move, guys. From where we are currently, it's probably going to be around a 200% gain or something along the lines of that. And if you think, guys, this is just Bitcoin. If we're talking alternative coins, altcoins as well, guys, the percentages that are going to be made, the money that's going to be made here from this move is just ridiculous. So please, please, please don't overlook it, and look out for my halvening video coming out potentially next week. Moving on to altcoins, guys, let's look at what we're seeing today for the altcoin market. The altcoin market, PYTH, up at around 17%. Again, looking very, very strong, consecutively making gains every single day. Gas is looking good, 18%. FTT down. I mean, we did see that pump like 20% yesterday or something along the lines of that. So it's kind of expected. Blur is up 27%. Not heard of that project. I think it looks very metaverse. Yeah, very, very metaversey. So overall, guys, altcoins looking good, looking pretty strong. We're seeing just general ones having a pullback that have seen quite a lot of momentum to the upside recently. It's absolutely healthy, looking really, really good for the crypto markets. Fear and greed index, guys, around 66 today. I think it was 66 yesterday. Yes, it was. People are greedy. It's still bullish. It's still looking pretty good. But remember what I said, guys. These areas here on the midterm time frame are definitely very crucial to be looking out for. But yeah, that's going to be it from me, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Loads of links in the description to get you guys some free stuff. We've got webinars in there. We've got free bonuses from exchanges. Loads and loads and loads of stuff in there. So make sure you check out the link in the description. The link's in the description. And I will see you in the next video, guys. But for now, it's going to be peace out and goodbye from me, Crypto Chester.